Welcome back to CSEC English Made Easy SBA series. First of all, let me apologize for my voice. If there's any coughing in between, I am apologizing. I'm recovering from COVID, so my voice is not 100%. Secondly, I have to say I had promised that we were going to talk about these SBA stimuli, but I'm making a switch. There's a method to the madness. Don't worry. I want to do the SBA stimuli followed by the reflection so that you can see the clear link between both. So that is why. But if you need to review SBA stimuli, there is a video on the channel. I will make a note to tag the video here in the cards at the top, so that you're able to pause and look at it and then come back if you so choose. All right, so let's begin. So today we're talking about plan of investigation, and for those of us who would have done research or certain courses, we're expecting the plan of investigation for the English A and B SBA to be different than what we expect. That's what I mean. But it's somewhat different. And let me walk you through. Now, the plan of investigation is a breakdown of what you're going to be looking at. So you're going to include your SBA theme, your individual topic, and your reason for selecting your topic. And this is worth 3 marks according to the mark scheme based on the syllabus. You are also expected to make mention of the expected benefits of completing the SBA. So as a student of English, what are the benefits that you expect to gain from completing the SBA? Then you need to talk about the skills. So what are the English language skills that you will learn throughout the SBA, and how will you use these skills? 2 marks. So the benefits is a little different from the skills, right? And then you will also include how you expect to find, how or where you expect to find your SBA stimuli. And that is 2 marks. Now, from the previous lessons, you would have learned that the SBA is marked out of 5. However, based on the mark scheme that you're seeing here, you're seeing 10. Let me explain. So it's marked out of 10. The teacher divides the 10 by 2, and then that is how you get your final grade. So for example, if you get 8 out of 10 for your plan of investigation, when your teacher divides that by 2, your final grade will be 4 out of 5. And let me just remind you, there is no 0.5 based on the SBA process. So we tend to just round off. So there's no 0.5, because students love to ask, Miss, can I get half? No, there's no 0.5. Most importantly, the plan of investigation should be no more than 100 words. So all of the above information must be completed within 100 words. So this is now testing your ability to synthesize information, to summarize ideas, to be very brief and to the point when presenting your ideas. Now, that means that you need to present your ideas not in point format by bullet, but you're going to present your ideas in continuous prose to show that you're able to now put your ideas together, include all the relevant details that need to be included in order to meet Not only in order to get your full marks, but also in order to meet your 100 word limit. So not 101, not 102, 100 words. No, it can be below 100, but it cannot be more than 100. And something to note, if you have 50 words out of 100, there means that something might not have been adequately covered. If you have 90 words, 94, 98, thereabout, that's okay, no problem. All right, so saying, just to answer your questions, because I hear them. The point is, if you have too little words, you might not have sufficiently covered the different aspects you're being graded for. So bear that in mind. All right, let's move on. Now we have a sample plan of investigation here. Let me go back to the previous slide. You're going to note that I would have color coded the slides. So you realize that the SBA, the theme, the topic, the reason for selecting, 3 marks, marked out of 3. Expected benefits, marked out of 3. The English language skill and how you're going to use them, marked out of 2. And the how you're going to find your SBA stimuli, marked out of 2. And notice I've assigned different colors. So let us now look at our first sample, and please bear in mind this is not perfection. I want us to now critique this example to say, hey, what is missing, what needs to be there. And this is 98 words. I'm not saying that you need to phrase your plan of investigation like this. This is an idea, so that you have an idea of what it might look like. All right, so the writer decided to start this by saying, I chose a topic, and the topic is there. This should be a question from the group theme scamming. And then they go on to tell you why they chose the topic, right? So that's the first paragraph. The next paragraph is, as a student of English, this will help me develop, and notice we have the different skills here, along with the ability, the various skills and that they want to develop, right? Also, I will increase my knowledge about the topic. I intend to collect, and then we have the information here about what will be collected and where it will be collected, right? So let us go back a little. Notice theme, topic, reason, benefits, English language skills that you will have learned, how you intend to use the skill, and where you have found your SBA stimuli. The question I have for you, based on those criteria that we would have just reviewed again, is this sufficient? How would you grade this? Where would you assign the marks? And I want you to pause a second, and I want you can pause the video, and I want you to take a minute to go through and maybe comment below and let me know your thoughts. Now, let's see, based on our analysis. Remember our color coding? So, based on our 3 marks, based on identification of our theme and topic and the reason why, it is safe to say this candidate might have received 3 marks for this, right? Tell me if you disagree. Tell me, right? Based on these skills, remember we spoke about the skills? The skills are all listed here in blue. But what is missing? Did the candidate state how he or she will use the skill? Is that stated? The question I also want to ask is, was too much emphasis placed on the skills? Could the writer take off some of those skills and then reallocate those words to add in to how the skills will be used and also how they will benefit? Because if we look at green, how they will benefit, you notice that the writer, in order to get those 3 marks, the writer did not provide, in my opinion, I could be wrong, did not provide sufficient information to get those 3 marks, right? It is very vague, the level of information that's provided. Good? So those are the things I want us to think about. Also, we look at the information to be collected. So far, seems adequate, can give them the 2 marks. But would this candidate receive 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 5? And so this is what you need to be looking at. Once you have written your plan, you need to critique to see if your plan has what the syllabus requires you to have, right? So it's not just, boy, the teacher wicked and the teacher just thief and mean with the marks. No. Have you provided the necessary information that is required for you to get the marks that you need to get? All right. Now let's go on to sample 2. This is 93 words. Question: is this a little better than the one before? Did this candidate cover adequately what is expected? Let us dive in. Something to note, although this is in paragraphs, your plan of investigation can be in 1 paragraph, right? The important thing is that it is in continuous prose, meaning that you have sentences, well-constructed sentences that are punctuated correctly, right? So let's go. Let us dive into this. So you would have noted that this writer decided to start their plan differently, and that is why I said I don't want you to copy what is presented here wholesale. It's to give you an idea of the different ways you can structure your plan. Please be original in how you structure your ideas, right? So scamming has been a problem that has damaged the reputation of Jamaica in the world. Interesting start. This was of interest to me and the members of my group, or it could be flipped, the members of my group and I. Remember the English. Therefore, our theme is scamming, and my topic is the impact of scamming on Jamaica's reputation. Do you think this is worth 3 marks? The candidate should, candidate receive full marks for this. Through the examination of my topic, I expect to develop my vocabulary comprehension, critical thinking skills, which can be used to analyze my stimuli and other documents. I will conduct research to find my print from and notice the different sources stated. This is 93 words. So there are several words that would make it 100. Could those several words have been used to add sufficient information, other information that is required? Did the candidate cover everything that needed to be covered in order to get the full marks? Take a minute, dive in, and comment below. Now let us see. All right, so for our 3 marks, we see right here where would you give the 3 marks for what is presented here? Is it sufficient? Did the candidate explain sufficiently the topic, their theme, individual topic, the reason for selecting the topic? Next one, language skills. Is the language skills presented in a way that is sufficient? Did they state how the skills will be used? And I made a note of this. I'm going to disagree with myself right here. This is green. And if we go back, let us go back to what green means. Green means the expected benefits, right? How you will use the skills. Okay, okay, so these are the skills. This is the wrong thing. Guys, you couldn't tell me. All right, so these are the skills. This is the expected benefit, but then there's no, the expected benefit right here could be how they intend to use the skills. And so any way you take it, the candidate would have lost marks, because if we go back, and sorry if I'm giving you whiplash, but I want us to get this correct. If you go back, the expected benefits you will get from completing the SBA, that's worth 3 marks. So if we give the candidate for the skills and how they intend to use it 2 marks, it therefore means that the 3 marks is not sufficiently covered right here. Get what I'm saying? Of course, the 2 marks would have been given. So something to really make a note of is that you need to really comment on the expected benefits. Now, this is a sample 3, taken from Achieve 2, published, it's 2019 by Dr. Ferreira. Sorry for my pronunciation. Sorry, guys. If we look at this is 94 words, right? And I suggest that if you're able to get a copy of the Achieve 2, it is an excellent resource with regards to really diving into the SBA and preparing for the exam. It's a good text as a resource text. It's the 2nd edition, not the 1st, right? So if we look at it, preserving the environment is important to sustain life. This is especially true since we think of the impact of global warming on the Atlantic season. And by here, we know that the individual topic is the impact of global warming on the Atlantic season. We also know preserving the environment is important, so we have an idea of the reason why the candidate would have selected this topic, right? In exploring this topic, I will develop and use reading for information, critical thinking, and analytical skills to understand the perspective from 3 pieces of stimuli, and the stimuli are stated. Now, the question I have for you is, in looking at the benefits and how the benefits are used and the skills that will be developed, right? Sorry, the skills and how we're going to use the skills, all of that, right? As well as the pieces that you're going to use. How did the writer present that information? And I love this example because at face value, it might seem like not all information is there. But when we dive into it, we realize that the candidate actually provided all of the information. But what the candidate did was to integrate all the components that are being graded into one flawless piece of work. Let me explain. So, let me go down here. I expect my experience to help me to write and read more knowledgeably about the topic. Most definitely, I have to say this would be the expected benefit, right? So right here, we know what is the benefit for you as a student of English. This is what it is. And this is worth 3 marks. Good? Are we in agreement? Let us go to the second paragraph. In exploring this topic, I will develop. So here we have the skills coming into play. And remember, the skills are worth 2 marks and how you will use the skills, right? So not only identification of the skills, but how you will use the skills, right? So I will develop and use reading for information, critical thinking, and analytical skills to understand. And this is how the skills, how you will use the skills. So you're going to develop these skills, and these skills will help you to understand the perspective from the 3 pieces of stimuli. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? You're following. And then in talking about the 3 pieces of stimuli, the pieces are listed as well as where they're from. So right here, we know where the pieces are from, which would be the 2 marks as to where you're going to source your pieces. Good? So here in this tiny paragraph right here, as in Jamaica we would say right here, so right here we would have seen how many marks? 5 marks. No, 4. Because 2 marks for this and 2 marks for this. 4 marks coming out. And if you go here, this is worth 3 marks. I'm not seeing the group theme being stated, but the reason for selecting the topic is there. The idea of the preservation of the environment. So I would have loved to see, and I'm just nitpicking, I'm just being picky, I would have loved to see the inclusion of the theme, because I'm wondering, is the theme the environment? Is it global warming? Is it, what exactly is the theme? So that would have been what I would have loved to see. But outside of that, let me know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Comment below. Let us have a discussion. Now, in wrapping up this lesson, it is very, very important to have a checklist. And you might be able to screenshot this and have it to use, no problem. If you're on your phone, no problem. But remember that your checklist is what you are using to ensure that whatever you have written is what is being graded for. So remember, you need to have your group theme and your individual topic and your reason for selecting your theme. Remember, the benefits that you will get from completing the SBA needs to be included. I'm sorry, and just to remember, these 2, that's worth 3 marks. This is worth 3 marks. The English language skills you will learn and how you will use these skills, 2 marks, and where you will find your SBA stimuli. That's worth 2 marks, totaling 10 divided by 2 to get your final grade. So this is it for plan of investigation. If I did not sufficiently cover a topic of your choice, or cover in my topic an aspect of this plan of investigation, if you have any lingering questions, please comment below and I will attempt to respond. Also, please share this video. Once we get to 11,000 subscribers, you will choose our next topic to be covered. Have a great day. Bye-bye.